Amsterdam, a city known for its canals, tulips, and liberal culture, also harbors a dark underbelly. In this true crime story, we explore the world of Dino Soerel, a notorious figure from the Amsterdam Underworld. Join us as we unravel the twisted tale of Dino Soerel, a man who allegedly orchestrated international drug trafficking operations and was linked to numerous murders. Dino Soerel was born on December 7, 1960, in Amsterdam. His dad was from Suriname and his mom was Dutch. Dino was raised in Purmerend. He joined the youth gang that often hung out at the Het Community Center, Nut, and frequently engaged in street fights with the other Purmerend youth group from Holland. During his teenage years, he learned boxing and Thai boxing, particularly from the renowned Thai boxing trainer Cees van der Velden. He informed Revue magazine that Soerel had the potential to become a world champion. His ability to assess situations was his main strength. He never lost his nerve. Is that what defines a true champion? Well, I've seen many top athletes lose their composure. Dino never did. Soerel gained recognition in the free fight scene, although he preferred sparring over actual matches. Even in his 30s and 40s, he stayed devoted to his love for martial arts. He continued to train himself and had close relationships with top players worldwide. He was friends with Moroccan kickboxer Nourdin Ben Salah until his demise on September 20th, 2004, and maintained strong connections with towering martial artists Dick Vrij and Hans Nijman. He first made headlines in mid-February 1989, although he was still referred to as the 28-year-old DS from Amsterdam. The news covered a fatal altercation in which he played a significant role, marking the culmination of a long-standing feud between two groups of volatile fighters within the Volendam nightlife circuit. The gangs caused fear in the bars around De Dijk. The brothers Peter and Johan Giesbergen, sons of a local taxi entrepreneur, are involved week after week with their group of friends in brawls, where they often beat up unsuspecting revelers to varying degrees. Over time, a conflict between the Giesbergens and the rival group escalates. The other group also includes two brothers, Martin and Rudy Koch. An incident in the summer of 1988 highlights the seriousness of the emerging feud. Johan Giesbergen is severely assaulted in a house just outside Volendam. His ear is cut off with a knife, after which he is held hostage for hours. When his assailants let him go, he managed to reach the hospital just in time to have his ear reattached, as best as possible. Johan's brother Peter assaults 19-year-old Rudy Koch with some friends at the beginning of 1989. Then the feud escalates. Brother Martin Koch orchestrates a revenge plot. He hires Dino Soerel and Joop van der Loo, known to him as rather aggressive bouncers from the Volendam nightclub The Movies, for 1,000 guilders each. They have a reputation for being willing to take on violent tasks. On a Friday evening, Soerel's group encounters the hostile group in the Café de Blokhout, located just behind De Dijk, more like a bunker than a pub, fenced off with barbed wire in a dark alley. Peter Giesbergen is at the bar with a friend when Koch, Soerel, and van der Loo knock him to the ground and continue to beat and kick him. Martin Koch delivers a final blow with a bar stool. Giesbergen succumbs in the Purmerend Regional Hospital. The prosecution demands 6 years in prison for Martin Koch, Dino Soerel, and Joop van der Loo. The court sentences each to 5 years, with Soerel ultimately serving 4 years after an appeal. In prison, he becomes increasingly acquainted with some big players from the Amsterdam Underworld. When he is released in the early 90s, he is on friendly terms with Heineken kidnappers Willem Holleder and Cor van Hout, as well as other top criminals like Stanley Hillis, who is also joined by his childhood friend Joop van der Loo. Martin Koch disappears from his immediate surroundings. He shoots dead the new partner of his ex-girlfriend and receives 14 years in prison. According to the authorities, Soerel becomes heavily involved in drugs. They become convinced that, over the course of the 90s, he arranges numerous shipments of heroin, ecstasy, cocaine, hashish, and marijuana throughout half of Europe. Among the key figures who allegedly organized the extensive drug transports for him for years, Soerel enjoyed an excellent reputation. They described him as a very calm man who always kept his distance. I can say that I always enjoyed working with Dino Soerel, Everything was always in order with his deliveries. He was also often personally present when the drugs were delivered to us, veteran Marcel Spelleman recounted in one of the extensive statements he gave to the police when he was caught for drug smuggling by the German police in 2005. If Dino said there were 300 kilos coming, you didn't need to check if the quantity was correct. The merchandise was well packed. When Arno de Jongh, Soerel's alleged right-hand man, was arrested in England in December 2003 during a drug handover, British investigators found an entire accounting system on a laptop and a PDA. When de Jongh was arrested again in Germany in April 2005, the investigation team found a handwritten agenda. D repeatedly appears in these records at crucial positions. The investigation team had no doubt. Further investigation left no room for any interpretation other than that D is the same person as Dino Soerel, the police stated with palpable satisfaction. According to the investigation team, the code names for the drugs used by the group in their records were not too difficult to decrypt. Brandy stood for heroin. Buttons were ecstasy pills. Sugar was cocaine. Soaps were hashish. Furthermore, in a substantial German drug investigation that served as the foundation for the Dutch case, a suspect began cooperating when apprehended during the sale of 130,000 ecstasy pills. Gennaro Gino Conte reached an agreement with authorities and, as a key witness, provided detailed insights into the operations of Soerel's organization. In the extensive case, a dossier compiled by law enforcement from testimonies and evidence collected from related files, numerous prominent underworld figures resurfaced, and information from previous investigations into the activities of prominent figures from the Amsterdam Underworld, such as Cor van Hout and Greg Remmers, gained renewed significance. The Soerel investigation was constructed from a succession of specific drug-related incidents, interconnected to persuade the court that the group had been functioning as a criminal organization since the early 90s. The authorities vigorously sought to imprison Soerel in 2006. The Public Prosecution Service believed it could apprehend Soerel for a heroin case dating back to the 1990s. They also endeavored to establish his connection to the extortion of Willem Enstra. News emerged that the Public Prosecution Service in February 2006 suspected lawyer Bram Moskovich of being pressured by Soerel. Allegedly, he allowed his sister, Orminda Minnie Soerel, to engage in a relationship with the lawyer. The married Moskovich was then purportedly extorted with a video of him and Minnie Soerel engaging in intimate activities. Minnie Soerel, who was apprehended alongside her leader in January 2006, was later released on bail. A planned arrest in early November 2006 was unsuccessful as the suspect did not attend his sister's birthday celebration. Soerel sued De Telegraaf for depicting him in an article as Willem Holleder Superior in June 2007. Soerel did not personally attend court proceedings, but was represented by his lawyer, Benedict Fiek. The judge did not mandate De Telegraaf to retract this allegation. On July 3, 2007, it was reported that Soerel was being sought for commissioning murders. Allegedly, he maintained a list of targets from which he frequently hired hitmen. Later, on December 30, 2009, the Haarlem court sentenced Dino Soerel in absentia to 8 years in prison for leading a criminal syndicate involved in trafficking ecstasy, cocaine, heroin, and hashish internationally. It was revealed that he was placed on the National Investigation List for his role in drug trafficking and arranging assassinations. Soerel was also flagged internationally at the behest of Dutch authorities on January 5, 2010. After evading capture for 4 years, Soerel was finally apprehended on August 27, 2010, by an arrest team in an apartment on Amsterdam's Rozengracht. During the raid, police found 2 fake passports with Soerel's likeness, along with wigs and multiple pairs of glasses. Despite receiving a 7-year prison term upon appeal for his involvement in the criminal group, Soerel faced further charges. When he was already in prison, Soerel was apprehended again under suspicion of participating in the killings of Kees Houtman and Thomas van der Biel. His remand in this matter was terminated on April 12, 2012. However, due to his recent 7-year sentence, he remained in custody. He was cleared of these homicides on January 29, 2013. Nonetheless, he was sentenced to 6 months for money laundering and possessing 2 counterfeit passports. Yet, Soerel's legal woes persisted, as he was sentenced to life imprisonment by the Court of Appeal in the Passage Liquidation Trial for his role in inciting the murders of Kees Houtman and Thomas van der Bijl in 2005 and 2006, along with involvement in a criminal organization intending to commit murder and firearms offenses. Despite already serving a life sentence, Soerel faced another arrest on October 1, 2018, in connection with the murders of Willem Enstra and John Miramet, though this case was later dismissed. Dino Soerel is now still serving his life sentence. His rise and fall are a stark reminder that no matter how much power criminals amass, the law will eventually catch up to them. What do you think about this story? Leave your thoughts in the comments and remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.